Chelsea Football Club have Enzo Maresca come out and basically tell us why Cole Palmer was subbed off and what was going on with him. Enzo Fernandez apparently is passing backwards too much, and all of a sudden Maresca gives you the FYI. For your information, he is in charge, and he gives us an explanation of how we're going to play moving forward because some fans don't understand. And finally, we need to talk about the big takeaway from this weekend. Callum Hudson-Odoi apparently needs to come back to Chelsea because our wingers are not better than him. Well, statistically it's wrong, factually it's wrong, and more importantly, you're all deluded if you're pushing on that narrative, and I'm going to explain to you why. But before we get started, I need you to do me a massive favor. Listen, for this channel to grow, you need to help. The way you help is hitting that like button, because some of you watch on a daily basis, you interact in the comments below, but you don't hit that like button. Pay your rent, it's free of charge. And finally, if you're new, subscribe, it's a welcoming place. But before we continue, let me know, do you think Callum Hudson-Odoi starts at Chelsea? Yes or no? Get in the comments below. Let's go. Chelsea Football Club have won 2 games back-to-back in the Premier League. Chelsea Football Club have won 3 games back-to-back in general. Copenhagen, Southampton, Leicester, almighty clubs, you gotta love it. However, wins are wins, we don't care. We don't care how we take it, because the reality is, it's about getting results at this stage of the season. We're fighting for top 4, we want to win the Conference League and go into the Club World Cup ready to go to win another cup. However, Cole Palmer yesterday was subbed off. This caused controversy. Cole Palmer missed a penalty. Some people get annoyed when I say missed a penalty. Cole Palmer's penalty was safe. This caused controversy. For me, I gave you my thoughts on it. If you want to hear that at the end of the video, go check it out. It'll be pinned. It's the match review from yesterday's game. There's a lot of detail. But what I am going to say is what Enzo Maresca said. At the end of the game, he basically explained Cole Palmer was injured. Cole Palmer had a fever and he had diarrhea the night before. They didn't think he was going to play. He didn't train for 48 hours. This guy basically asked to play. He demanded to play because he wants to help the team get into the top 4. And Enzo Maresca used this as the inkling of how much this guy is convinced he wants to be at Chelsea Football Club. For me, this is all well and good. He had to play. He gave it his best. Cole Palmer's got so much credit in the bank with a lot of us that if he plays badly, we're going to just say he played badly, he'll get over it, he's allowed to play through bad form. However, the problem is there's no one else to play. If we had Joao Felix still, if we had Carney Chukwuemeka, that's your 10. Then, or we could have had Nkunku and someone else playing the number 9. We don't have a striker. We don't have alternatives. He has to play. Genuinely, there were no other choices. So as noble as the act is, I actually think he basically understood the situation we're in. If we don't win the game and Cole Palmer isn't risked, everyone's going to say, where the hell is Cole Palmer? And if it comes out he had a fever, he clearly could have played. I think this is an excuse from Enzo Maresca to justify the bad form that he's in. I don't like it. Enzo Maresca was on a little roll though, because he was ready to trigger some Chelsea fans. And the moment I heard this, I was like, oh, this is not going to go down well. Because what he said at this moment in time, if you listen to it, people are going to say it's wild. But if you actually listen, it's fine. It's genuinely, I've got no problem with it. Because some people have selective hearing. You know them ones, they hear sections of a quote and then they go, oh my God, this is bang out of order. How are you doing this? Well, let me explain to you. What did he say firstly? He was like, look, he was asked a question. Some of the fans are groaning when you're passing backwards, when Enzo Fernandez played the ball backwards. And he said, look, if Fernandez plays the ball forward in that situation, I will sub him. If the goalkeeper kicks the ball long, I will sub him. People took it as there's no creative freedom. He's absolutely making a rigid system. He's so negative. He's a dictator. Look at the way Enzo Maresca's managing. You know how it is, right? The internet blew up. Let me explain to you what he did there. Firstly, he's explaining that we have a style of play. In this style of play, he is meant to pass that ball there because they will shift it around, maneuver the ball, and it will cause chaos or just maneuver the defenders around because they're fixed in a stagnant block. They don't want to move. Short passes are expected to invite them out a little bit, tempt them out to create gaps, and they'll penetrate through. Yet people took it as he's not allowed to pass forward. And what makes me laugh is Enzo Fernandez is not the one you should be using. Enzo Fernandez in the last 3 games in the Premier League, right? Against Bournemouth, I've got the numbers here. 7 key passes created. Southampton, 5 chances created. Yesterday, 6 key passes. What more do you want from an Enzo Fernandez? This system is improving Enzo Fernandez. We're seeing the best version of Enzo Fernandez. I think since Enzo Fernandez has been here, since October, it's been the best version of him. This is the best Enzo Fernandez that we have seen. I don't understand why people have now got it into their heads Enzo Maresca doesn't want us to play good football. We are winning. We're in a position now where we can make top 4 and have Champions League football next year. If we add 2 or 3 good pieces, we will compete for the league. People are going to call me deluded. If you add a centre-back, a striker, and a good goalkeeper, I'm not even saying a world-class goalkeeper, just a safe pair of hands, we will be competing for the league next year. It's as simple as that. Enough with picking on the manager. Enzo Maresca was on a roll. He wasn't going to stop there. And he basically explained to the fans, look, when we create as many chances as we did yesterday, it needs to get to the point where you need to be happy. Because team's playing well. And for me, this is a little problem. I think that when you start coming out and making demands and taking shots at the fan base, it is going to cause problems. Because a lot of this fan base is going to dig their heels in like a kid. And then he went on and said, this isn't PlayStation. And for me, lines like that, headline writers are going to take the mick out of. Because the reality is, I don't think we played well enough where he can come out talking that smoke. But at the same time, some of the fan reactions is horrible. I said it yesterday, I'm going to reiterate it again. We have bandwagon fans. When we're great, they are on board, absolutely singing every single song. The minute things turn bad, they're booing, they're moaning, they're absolutely not supporting the team. It's pathetic. Genuinely, it is super annoying. And the worst thing is, Enzo Maresca's reiterating, this is our style. This is how we're going to play. This is how we want to play. It's going to keep happening. You need to support the team. And for me, it is a very sticky situation he's in. He was brought in to do a particular job. This fan base has a problem with him because he's doing a particular job that he was brought in to do. And we've seen this in the past. Do you want to remember when? Maurizio Sarri. Sarri was brought in. Sarri wanted a methodical style of play. We were playing very good football. We were playing expansive football. However, we were controlling games. And what ended up happening was the fan base didn't like it. Stamford Bridge faithful were booing religiously. And even when we were winning, I remember we came back and beat Cardiff 2-1. And it was a game away from home. And I think it was Aspi and Ruben Loftus-Cheek that scored in that game. Yo, they booed. They were booing their heads off. They were not happy with the victory. For me, it stinks. That kind of support is not support, man. You need to support your team. I think there's too much urgency required from these fans. They're like, we want to see more expansive football. What does expansive football mean? Heart rate racing at 150, like the way we were with Pochettino, conceding 63 goals last year. 2-2 draws with a Burnley when they have 10 men. 2-2 draws with Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. Come on, man. At the end of the day, we've got a good manager. He's trying to implement a system. It is not perfect, but trust me, I think it's better than what we've seen in a long, long time at Chelsea. Apart from Tuchel, that one season where we won the Champions League and then it filtered on, and even the end of that season after was terrible. What have we seen that's been so positive? Genuinely, we've cracked 70 points in the last 8 years twice, and people want me to celebrate this mediocrity. Come on, let him build. Let him do a good job. This final thing that I want to talk about is the Callum Hudson-Odoi thing. So Callum Hudson-Odoi scored a goal. Firstly, this is where I know people don't watch games. Because if they watched games, they would have known Callum Hudson-Odoi was pants. Genuinely, he was not good all game. But what ended up happening is the one time he was left one-on-one, he beat his man and absolutely rifled it side-footed, where Edison should have saved it, but it was a good strike. We'll give him that goal. People are going to say he had a great game because he scored a goal. This is the life that we live in now. You score a goal, great game. The rest of your impact for 89 minutes doesn't matter. It does not matter. But, and this is where I found it interesting. People are like, he'd be starting for Chelsea. Chelsea let him go for 3 million. First of all, Chelsea let him go for 3 million plus 2 million in add-ons, which would have been activated by now. And more importantly, 25% sell-on fee. Some people think it's up to 50. That's the sources I've seen, right? Different sources have said different things. That's the first thing. The second thing, ask yourself the question, why was No one willing to bid more than 3 million for him. Why was there not a queue of people trying to come and get Hudson-Odoi? This is coming from someone that likes Callum Hudson-Odoi. Number one, he was on 100k a week. Number two, Callum Hudson-Odoi was not worth 100k a week. He was basically a player that was sent on loan to Bayer Leverkusen, played for 6 months, Alonso took over, no more playing, no mas. He wasn't playing after that. He basically sat on the bench, he was getting hooked at half time, and he didn't play for like 3-4 months. So he came back, was with the bomb squad, no one wanted him, 12 months left on his deal, 3 million, 2 million add-ons, 25% to 50% sell-on. That's what happened. Now that you know that, now let's get into the next part where I need to debunk. Firstly, people say he starts at Chelsea. Who does he start ahead of? We know it ain't Cole Palmer. So the three that I straight away picked out was Noni, Sancho, and Neto. And I looked at the numbers, right? From a goal scoring standpoint, Neto's got 5, Callum's got 5. He'd be getting cooked the same way Neto gets cooked, right? Not enough production, idea baller. Noni's got 8 goals. People cook Noni on a weekly basis. People tell me Noni's not even Nottingham Forest level. Nottingham Forest level, that's what they say. But Hudson-Odoi starts for Nottingham Forest. You don't think Noni starts there. Then people will say, well, Sancho's got 2 goals. Okay, no problem. He's got 3 more goals, but Sancho's got 6 assists. Callum Hudson-Odoi has 2 assists all season. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Because what we're doing here is you watch highlights, you don't watch full games of Callum Hudson-Odoi, and you don't hold the same standards for other people's players as you do to ours. And then you build up an idea in your head that everyone else's players are good, our players are rubbish. Same way everyone was telling me, Rice is much better than Caicedo. No, he's not. No, he is not. Right? And now, the whole point has been refuted. No one's begging for Declan Rice anymore. People don't watch games, they watch results. Forest are the hot commodity at the moment. They're winning games. Wait till we catch them, because we will catch them this year. We will be above Nottingham Forest when all is said and done this season. Because the way you lot bigged up Bournemouth, you've stopped now. The way you're bigging up Forest, you will stop now and you will jump back on Brighton, who you weren't on. And no more Aston Villa talk. No more Aston Villa talk or no more Newcastle talk. Why is that? Because they're dropping points as well. Do you know what? I've had enough. So it is what it is. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. You made it this far. But if you want more Kavkas View, because clearly you like watching it, here's the review of yesterday's game against Leicester City. The good, the bad, and the downright ugly. Go enjoy. Bye.